hello and welcome everyone. It's great to see you. This is really fun visiting with everybody before we get started. I'm Danielle Middleton. I'm the Chief Development Officer and Managing Director at the Federation, and I wanted to welcome you to our program today. A couple of housekeeping things before I turn it over to our chairs, Christy and Alan Brown. One is that we're going to mute you all because that way we can get out of some of the background noise. You will have the ability at the end when we go into chat rooms so that you.
I know that, got it.
So that way we can hear our speakers. And then the second thing is that we are going to be taking some photos of this Zoom screen. And so if you do not want your photo taken, you should change your mode and please turn off your video. And on a computer, you can do that on the bottom screen. So those are two things. And with that, I just wanted to welcome you, and I'm going to turn it over to Alan and Christy. Actually, Christy first. You're up, Christy.
Okay, great. Thanks, Danielle.
You're welcome.
So hello, we're Alan and Christy Brown, the chairs for this event. Thank you for joining us today. When we agreed to chair the event, we were planning on standing in front of 300 people. And now we're talking to you from our living room. What a whirlwind it has been. Our hearts go out to those suffering from COVID-19. I'm glad that we are still able to gather safely. And it's particularly meaningful to come together as a community, given the struggles we are facing in this country. Battling racism and hate. There's work to do. We are here to honor and thank you, our sustainers, for helping to pursue justice and build a better world. You are legacy donors to our local Jewish institutions. You are Silver Circle donors who have been giving to the community for 25 years or more through the Federation annual campaign. You are the pillars of this community. We have designed this special program for you as the people who have invested in our community and its future.
And I'm the Alan part. Okay, we asked you as you RSVP'd to submit 6 words describing how you feel in the midst of this COVID crisis. You answered us so thoughtfully, honestly, and generously. Here are 9 representative answers I'd like to share. It's like a bad dream. Anxious, scared, tired, overworked, helpless. Tired, stretched thin, grateful. Uncertain, grateful, rested, anxious, restless, loved. Lonely, scared, dystopian, lazy. God is watching over us. Saddened, challenged, lonely, relevant, activated, determined. Sad, I miss my grandchildren. Frustrated, uncertain, different, hopeful, new, clean, lucky. That was our community COVID-19 program created by you. Know that I understand you. It's been a difficult time and it's good to share it. We also asked for video clips from any of you who wanted to share how you're getting through and how you're staying connected. We got an enormous response here as well. Thank you all. I got a sneak preview and it made me really happy. It really shows how our community shines. Let's take a look.
I think this is rolling.
Do you know that when we are spending so much time at home, it can be hard sometimes to understand what day of the week it is. And that's where Jewish tradition is so special.
On Friday nights at 6 o'clock, we have our Wise Families Shabbat Zoom event.
Amen.
Amen.
We have been able to spend a lot of time with our 4 grandchildren. We use FaceTime to play games with them. We read bedtime stories and just have some great visits.
It is getting dark. Every day it gets dark.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Change it however you want.
To all of
Thank
us.
you.
Happy Mother's Day. And
Happy
especially
Mother's Day.
Lisa, who is being a mother.
This is wonderful on Mother's Day.
Coronavirus is still with us, but it does have some benefits. There's nothing like a link with the younger generation, or in this case, 2 generations, as we provide daycare services. It's fun to see how, ultimately, our legacy gifts are really going to make a legacy. Right, Dean? That way. Let's go that way.
am. I'm not seeing this as a crisis. I'm really seeing it as an opportunity, and to just take advantage of, the time that I've got on my hands, and I see it as opportunities to connect with people in different ways than we normally would.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
From a social distance. For some reason, Walter sleeps throughout the day, and when I turn this thing on, he appears. So, here he is. So today we're going to do some exercises, seated and standing.
And our children will play one day, one day.
And I especially love kicking off my mornings watching Waking Up with the Rabbis.
So what have I been doing to cope and to sustain myself during the pandemic? Well, I started with yoga clothes, athletic leisure, my go-to clothes.
Thank God I get to go to work and people are still having babies. But I come home and it's nice to see that Abby has her daytime pajamas and her nighttime pajamas.
I attended Camp Livingston for 10 years, and one of the ways that things are helping me get back to normal and feel a little bit of normalcy during this difficult time is everything that Camp Livingston is doing for their alumni and their campers.
One day, one day, one day.
Amazing, really amazing. That was so great. Thank you so much. So up next, we have Brandon Nathanson.
I'm going to do one of my favorites called Wagon Wheel.
My family and I are incredibly grateful to Cincinnati Hebrew Day School, who, despite such unusual circumstances, is continuing to find innovative ways of connecting with the students and the parents.
Hi everyone, it's Miss Deborah here, and we are going to make some cloud dough today. So there's only 2 things that you'll need. The first thing is hair conditioner and cornstarch.
I made it down the coast in 17 hours, speaking me.
And now I can use it kind of like Play-Doh. I can build, I can write things with it, I can make imprints. It's pretty cool. So have fun, take some pictures, post it below. We can't wait to see it. Bye guys.
Anywhere you feel, hey, mama rock me.
Hi everybody, it's Miss Julie. I am going to read you one of my all-time favorite stories, Where the Wild Things Are.
All right, so let's start with Talia. Talia, what color are you wearing today?
Gray.
Gray.
From the cold up in New England, I was born to be a
We put in place pretty early on was getting in touch with our family in West Philly. We have 2 grandchildren there, and we have so enjoyed this tradition of meeting together on Friday evening. And as you can imagine, it's especially warming when we see our 3-year-old put his hands over his eyes.
But the best part of our day is our grandchildren stop by almost every day on their own. They'll bike ride or walk over, ring our doorbell, and go to the end of our drive, and we'll just step out on the porch and we'll chit-chat with them from a distance, and it just brings big smiles to us every day.
We try to exercise together a few times a week. We take walks. We spend a lot of time outside when the weather's nice.
Attending the Minyanim and Kabbalat Shabbat services have enabled me to see my friends and interact with people.
Lauren and I are lucky to be a part of a group of young adults that has been gathering once a month to discuss the importance of values and tradition, and had to resort to a virtual meeting a few weeks ago. It was really great to be able to connect on a social level as well.
So rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey.
Due to the pandemic, we have seen an increase of about 20% over the clients that we were serving before everything happened. So it's been, for us, a significant amount of extra households that we're serving.
Rockdale Temple is reeling at this time from the tragic loss of our senior rabbi, Rabbi Sissy Karan. We are grieving. We are attempting to work through our pain. Our community has rallied together to support her family. We at Rockdale Temple are grateful for the presence, the care, the showing up of our community. And I know that Rabbi Karan was proud to be a rabbi and to be a member of this amazing Jewish community.
Let tonight be the start of your healing, but also just one small part of our connectedness and our time together.
We've had to postpone some in our family, our son and daughter-in-law to-be's wedding, which was have been in June. But we hope that by taking care of ourselves and taking care of each other and the community, that soon we'll be back together.
Back together as a community.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was so fun to see so many faces and families and traditions, new and old, moving forward in this COVID-19 world. What's clear to me as I watch this video is that we are a community of people, we're a family of people, we're resilient, we know how to find joy and meaning in every situation. That's what Jews have always done, and that's what we'll always do. I'm Debbie Brandt, the new president of the Jewish Federation as of 2 weeks ago. We just saw what we're doing in our individual spheres to get through this crisis. COVID-19 has affected us all differently, including many who are struggling painfully to get by. I wanted to touch upon what we're doing to help the most vulnerable in our community get through this crisis. The Jewish Federation launched a COVID-19 hotline to help people in need. We also reduced our budget and reallocated dollars to better support the immediate community needs. The JCC has now delivered almost 20,000 meals to vulnerable seniors in the area since the stay-at-home order. This is double what they served in the same time period last year. Our synagogues have gone above and beyond to reach congregants with virtual services and groups. Our day schools have been keeping our future generation engaged, fed, and loved through distance learning and meal drop-offs. The Federation's shared business services helped 17 agencies and congregations secure over $4.6 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans, and is now currently working hard to convert those loans to be forgivable. Jewish Family Service has kept the Barbash food pantry stocked despite a 20% increase in use since January. They've provided mental health counseling and help with basic needs to the most vulnerable in our community, and really so much more every day. You are the power behind those accomplishments. It is thanks to your support that we're able to act on day one of this crisis, and it's thanks to you that we'll be here in the future for any other crises. Indeed, we're already amidst another crisis in this country, exposed most recently by the tragic death of George Floyd, but which has revealed itself in too many similar incidents and long-standing injustices against Black Americans. As Jews, we know personally and painfully the dangers of unchecked hatred, particularly when it infiltrates systems and power structures. Our Jewish Community Relations Council is working with our allies in the African American community, civil sector, and faith communities to fight the virus of racism and hate. I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for standing up in all these different ways to continue in our fight for justice and to repair the world. So this is how you applaud in sign language. So even if our lines are muted, it'd be great to take a moment for some applause for all of you. Normally at our event, we would ask different groups to stand up to be recognized. So we're going to try to do this virtually by using a poll. You should be a box that pops up on your screen. If you just click on your answers, I will be able to call them out. So hopefully you see this box asking about how long you've been giving. If this applies to you, please submit a response. If you don't see this question, you can always put your answer in the chat box. We have a couple other questions coming your way as well. So while we do this, I'll just add my thanks to Alan and Christy Brown for chairing this wonderful event. Thank you. Okay, looks like stopped moving, so you guys can see the results. Wow. 42% giving between 35 and 45 years. And let's not forget the 22% that had been giving 45 years or more. That's amazing. All those are, it's fun to see. The next question, going to pop up, is about making a legacy gift to the Jewish community. Please, if this question applies to you, please respond to the poll. If you don't see the question, again, you can put it in the chat box. Holy number. So 91% of everyone on this call, and I didn't answer, I can't do two things at once, has said yes. So that is a fantastic number. And lastly, if you could let us know in the chat box if you volunteer on one of the Create Your Jewish Legacy teams, and you can indicate which organization you're with. Our Create Your Jewish Legacy volunteers are having conversations and helping your organization secure their future. Through your diligent work, we now have over 1,600 legacy gift commitments to our community organizations. Thank you for your passionate volunteer work. These are times that we realize how important endowments are to our organizations. They provide a lifeline when crises hit and help us weather the storm. So I think we can be proud of all the work we've been doing, and especially those endowment gifts. We'd be remiss if we didn't take a moment to remember the legacy donors we have lost in the past year. They are with us here tonight in our memories and in our hearts, and they continue to provide for us in the future with their lasting legacy. Let's take a moment to watch a video honoring them.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the good times that we had, let them slip away from us.
Legacy to me means what you're going to leave behind. The importance of your participating and be in a situation where you can leave a good name. I get more pleasure out of seeing that than anything I do.
Cannot say a word.
I think that if you don't set examples of what you believe in and be true unto thyself, then how can you ask people to follow in your footsteps or to contribute if you don't have the integrity to do it yourself?
Pass you by.
Volunteered in the community. In fact, we impart that to our grandchildren, and I think they learn from us. It's a ongoing, continuing caring for and supporting the Jewish organizations in our community.
I went to Vassar, and when I got back to Cincinnati, I became the program director of the National Conference of Christians and Jews in Cincinnati. The reason I was into interfaith work was because I thought that the way to have people understand each other was to get them together and have them discuss issues of common interest.
Weep not for the memories.
video is so moving and beautiful and sad. And I know so many of you have lost loved ones this past year, and we as a community love them as well. And I hope that you can find some sort of comfort knowing that not only are their memories alive with you and your families, but their legacy will remain in our Jewish community as well. And may their memory be for a blessing. So you are all part of a chain that helps our community stay connected. With your generosity, you provide resilience in the present and strength in the future. Thank you. We're now going to end the formal program segment of this event. And we'd like to give you the option to stay on for an awesome and informal conversation in breakout groups. So we're going to do this speed dating style. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather in small groups for 3 separate sessions of 7 minutes each to just greet each other and chat like we did a little bit in the beginning. And so if you have an extra 20 minutes and would like to connect with other members of our community, please stick around. It'll be super fun. And you don't have to do anything. You just need to stay on this Zoom call, and Zoom will magically place us into groups. It's absolutely amazing, the technology. And for those of you who do want to sign off, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for joining us, and more importantly, thank you what you do and what you are doing for our community.